Let's try to get back on track here.
Sorry, what?
So we talked a little bit at the beginning as the intro that 2024 was kind of your debut year.
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
But I imagine not your first experience in music. So when did music become more serious for you? Like when did you pick up a guitar for the first time? When did you write your first song? Things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would say that like I would off and on, I've loved music my whole life. I've sang in the church choir since I was 5. I've been singing forever. I love singing. I love writing. I was I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, in Louisiana, it's a really tough place. Louisiana and Kansas City both, very tough places. And you're in a place where you go around telling everyone that I'm writing poetry in my notebook. You know what I'm saying? That not where I grew up, but they would.
And now you're telling people about lattes. So
Exactly. I have grown. Thank you, man. I have grown. You hear that? So I write poetry all the time when I was a kid and everything, because I just loved it. I just thought it was great. I just thought it was cool to write stories out, ridiculous stories, silly things. I thought it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. I love the way words sound. I just always have. Kamchatka. It's a great word. That's one of my favorite words of all time. Yeah, onomatopoeia. So I would love words. I thought they were absolutely wonderful. I played music my whole life. I would listen to music, the same song over and over and over and over and over again. I loved everything about it. I considered it a challenge to memorize lyrics and memorize plays. I love Shakespeare.
Were you withdrawn from people a lot?
It was a very rough place where I grew up, and it was very, very lonesome. And if you were near somewhere where you could possibly be in the way, you'd get your ass beat. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't just parents; that was outside and everything like that. So you have to.
But your safe place was words.
Was words, and I remember as a kid, I used to walk through, like, we had these giant fields in Louisiana, and there's these pecan groves, and I would walk through the pecan groves, and I would just like sing as loud as I could, because somehow in my mind I thought if I sang loud enough the pecans would fall down, and it was because it's a little kid, and I just thought that's the kind of weird stuff that I do as a kid, and so it was very withdrawn. But I love people. Well, ironically, I do really love people, and it's a very hard thing to be separated from people a lot and stuff, But so when it came to music, it was really, really natural. I went through
Were you writing poetry before you were musical?
Oh yeah, 100%. Not even close. I would listen to people would say phrases, and it was really like, if my mom knew what autistic was, she would have thought I was, because I would hear a phrase and I would just randomly repeat it over and over and over again, because I liked the movement of the word. I thought it was like.
Are you changing the emphasis too?
Yeah, 100%.
Certain words.
Yeah. She thought it was weird. Like it was, and so I would keep it very quietly. So there was a French poet. I can't remember his name. It wasn't Voltaire, but he said that the most beautiful word he has ever heard, collection of syllables, was celador. Celador. Do you know the story?
I don't.
So he thought it was beautiful. He'd write poems about Celador. He named his daughter Celador. And listen to the word. Just listen to me sing Celador. Mm-hmm. It sounds beautiful. It really does. Now I'm going to say it, and I'm actually going to work with you here. Celador. No. Listen. Just listen. Celador. Cellar door.
Yeah.
That's the real phrase that he heard an English person say, cellar door. And he just caught that, and it sounds beautiful. Right. And but that has gone throughout my music throughout. Like, you can find beauty in anything.
That's right.
You can find the loveliness and the glory. Like the Alchemist Stone, right? Like what you most desire will be found where you least want to search. Mm-hmm. And that's truth, man. That's like the things that are the deepest things, the most beautiful things are hard fought, and you have to look where you don't want to look. Mm-hmm. And that's like cellar door. That's exactly what it is.
And that's armor too, man.
It is, brother. Dude, are we gonna hug later? We are.
We probably might.
Dude, I like this guy, dude.
Yeah. No, that's armor you're putting on. You're building your own suit of armor there every time you're doing that. So when's the genesis of the guitar for you? Or any other musical instrument for that matter. When does that ingredient come into the
Dude, I was off and on in guitar. I played it a lot. I went through a really, really bad marriage where I wanted to be. One time I opened up and I was like, I think I want to do this music thing. I was playing guitar a lot. I bought a mandolin, which I love. It's my second favorite instrument, and I played all the time. I'm like, I think I could do this. Like, I'm a good singer. I think I'm a good writer. I think I could do this. And I was just laughed at for it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm never going to talk about this again. And so, but I've always wanted to do that. And then I ended up getting cheated on, ironically, and she moved out of my life, and I met an extremely supportive woman, and she.
Eye-opening, isn't it?
It was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird. I'm like, I think we should do this. And she's like, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? What was this? It was very strange. I came home one day, when I started doing music, I came home one day.
It's weird what happens, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, dude.
When you're in a bad situation or a relationship like that, you have somebody beating you down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get out of that relationship, and now it's your role to beat yourself down.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Or not to do it.
It's like you take over the role of your ex of being your own worst abuser, so to speak.
Right, 100%.
And then you find that supportive person that comes into your life,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are encouraging and being your crutch and all of those
Yeah.
things, and you're the one that's your ex now that's beating your own self down.
And it's
weird.
It's so hard to break out of that cycle.
Absolutely.
And how I did it by the grace of God, with the love of a great woman, but also understanding that just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it has to happen in the future.
Right.
So I came home one day and she was like, guess what? You're going to be on the X Factor. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I took a video of you and I sent it into them and they want you to audition. And I'm like, oh, cool. Came home a different day. She's like, guess what? You're going to be in a band. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And she's like, they got these people that are looking for singers. I want you to get, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was very weird.
Yeah, you have to have that.
So I did that for a while, and I was in these bands, and I ended up taking over the band, and like people like and starting to write music. But I always noticed that I was way more enthusiastic than everyone else was. You know, I felt like Benny the Jet Rodriguez in Sandlot, where everyone like I like playing baseball, and Benny was like, let's play right now. Let's never stop playing. Let's play forever. Playing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and that's how I was about.
Well, that's your safe place, too, right?
Well, and it's what I needed to do.
Right.
Like it's inside of you.
You talked about blue skies. That's your blue sky.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Well, and John Lee Hooker said that it's in him and it's got to come out. Mm-hmm. And I think about that all the time. So
and that could be tough too when you're that passionate, just trying to find other people to surround yourself,
especially with
that
songwriting.
Feel it that way.
Especially with songwriting. Songwriting is like, hey man, I made this. Mm-hmm. We take a look at that real quick, and they're just like, yeah, let me crush that real quick for you, and to be like,
they don't see it the same way.
Oh my gosh,
no, it's very true.
So when I got done, the big Genesis were like, this is what I have to do. I was a welder. I loved welding. By the way, welding is witchcraft. I don't know if you know that. If you've ever seen someone weld, how are these two metals just melting together right under your eyes? It's witchcraft. I'm pretty sure it's witchcraft. It
probably is.
I'm telling you, man. I still don't understand.
Glass.
Dude. Yeah, dude. And I just took sand and melted. Like, get out of here, bro. This is witchcraft. I know witchcraft. This is witchcraft. Anyways, so I was all set to be a welder for the rest of my life. And then I started getting vicious, horrible, like migraines where I would go work for 4 hours, run in the back, throw up, go back to welding. And I'm like, had no clue how it would. I mean, I'm like, this is horrible. It got worse and worse. Nobody knew why I was doing it. And then until a doctor told me that I had mild epilepsy. So like the flashing is giving me migraines that was causing me to throw up. So I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
And he told you to go dig on the beaches of Dublin.
That was an obscure reference, my friend.
Well, you talking about Celtic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he told me to do.
Circular interviews, right?
So I got, I know we're only 50 minutes in, but I got to tell you this one story. So you're going to love this. I'm sitting on my couch trying to figure out what I'm doing because I'm holding my stomach because I just donated a kidney. And I'm just like, I'm going to watch documentaries. And what documentaries do I watch about music? And they're talking about Napster. And the Napster thing was saying that, hey, music has changed and we need to be okay with it. And this guy said, look, music used to be a guy on the street corner with a guitar getting nickels thrown at him, hoping he's going to get harassed by the cops, hoping he's going to make enough to eat dinner that night. Mm-hmm. And this is what he said. The guy was so brilliant. This guy doesn't even know how he changed my life. He goes, maybe music goes back to that. And when he said that, something in my heart leapt. And I go, I do it out loud. I said, I do it for that. I do it for that. I would do music just for nickels on the corner. Mm-hmm. And then when I said it out loud, I went, oh shit. Because it wasn't like no one was around. I just said it out. I felt like I was unction in my heart.
Transcendental, right?
And I was just like, yes, very transcendental. And I was like, wow, this is insane. Mm-hmm. And I went, And I had I call them brave moments where I go, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. It's crazy. And I went, God bless my wife. I went to her and I go, I think this is what I'm meant to do. And she goes, yeah, obviously.
She already knew that already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's like a very kind individual.
Yeah.
She wasn't forcing me into it. She was just like, you need to figure this out. And I was, like I said, completely content. I was working 60 hours a week as a welder. And I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
I love it.